Okay, I think we've waited long enough. As I've said to the guys before, I'm British. I get very antsy when we don't start on time. So let me introduce myself. I am Jessica. I am from D.Engage. We are delighted to be presenting this webinar to you today. The guys from Confiz very kindly invited me along to talk, which I like to do too much, so forgive me. I talk a lot in this session. I'm going to try and reduce the time that I talk so that the guys get a chance to say their piece. But thank you so much for inviting me here today. I'm going to introduce my co-conspirators in a minute, but I just wanted to let you know what we're going to be covering in this webinar. So we will be talking about retail consumer behavior over the last year or so, and also historically, to give us some context about why we're even talking about this. The next part, which I'm going to talk about specifically, is about crafting an elevated experience for specifically e-commerce, and how you can really take advantage of this holiday period. So I think, although as marketers, you're probably well along in your process, you probably finished doing all of your marketing, etc. But if there were some things that didn't work out for you, maybe we can give you some ideas about how to do it better for the next holiday that's coming up, or maybe there's some takeaways for you to try and prepare earlier, and some little ideas about how you might spruce it up next time. I'm going to talk very, very briefly about some things that have worked and some strategies, and also give you some nice little examples. And then we're going to talk about how we can help you to hit the KPIs and what kind of things that you could do to make things better. So without further ado, I'm going to move on. I'm going to introduce my fellow speakers. Thank you so much. So we've got Robert. Would you like to introduce yourself, sir?
Yeah, I'm Robert Severson. I'm the BD director here at Confiz in North America. And I have been working in retail in various different roles for a little over 30 years now.
Fantastic. And Javad, if you would say a little bit about yourself. Yeah.
I'll try my best. My name is Javad Arif, Director of Professional Services at Confiz. As a background, 18 years in IT industry, out of which 16 years with CRM systems. And from last 10 years, I have been exploring retail market and providing a couple of solutions in the retail market. So understand a bit about the industry, and I'll be sharing my experiences today.
Well, that's very lucky. So I'm Jessica. I am the CEO of D.Engage, and I have been in technology in many different guises for the last 20 years, in this particular industry for about 12. So, and I've worked for quite a lot of different providers. So I know a few things about digital marketing, and I just like to talk in general about how to do things well. I also happen to own a retail store, which is quite fun. So I'm going to tell you a bit about D.Engage just to kick us off. So we're a digital marketing technology company. We've been in existence for not very long, but the founders of this company have been in digital marketing technology for 20 plus years. And in fact, one of the co-founders, CTO, who's built the technology with his bare hands from the ground up, has built one of the first email sending engines in the world, which is really quite something. So he has seen a massive evolution. And really we came about because there was a gap in the market, and we saw some things that were not being done well, and a lot of legacy systems which were bolting on technology rather than building it holistically. So that's why D.Engage even exists. And we are here to help improve customer experience and ROI. That is our MO. And that's all right, you can move on. Otherwise I'll talk forever. So that's D.Engage. And now Robert's going to tell you a bit about Confiz.
At Confiz, we are a global company, in US, Europe, Asia, and we provide the technology services to a large, different, varying type of group of companies, from small to medium to large companies. We have several Fortune 100 customers. We are specialists in retail, but we also do CPG, manufacturing, and others. We do try to facilitate and accelerate the IT modernization across various different types of areas, including cloud, data analytics, also Dynamics ERP and CRM. And we also have our own intellectual property for the retail market in Shopper Value, which is a retail footfall measurement solution, but also C Analytics, which is a BI dashboard specifically developed for the retail industry. We've got over 500 consultants. We've been around for over 16 years, and over 240 customers. So great deal of experience, both U.S. and overseas.
That's excellent. So I think you're in safe hands this afternoon, this morning, this evening, wherever it is that you're joining from. So without further ado, I'm actually going to hand back to Robert, because we're going to kick off with segment 1, which is about retail consumer behavior. So over to you, Robert. Thank you so much.
So as we all know, the customer is starting to utilize more and more different types of touch points and channels in their shopping experience. And a lot of times now this is driving challenges with loyalty, as they can very quickly and easily get to more and more retailers, especially now since COVID-19 has really driven a lot of online marketing and online sales. And also with that, there's been a great growth in the customer experience tools, skills that are really driving the ability to put the customer at the center and really focus the attention on what is best or what is most likely for the customer to buy going forward. So it's an exciting time, but it also creates great challenges for our customers. Again, with COVID, it's really, challenged a lot of things, especially for brick and mortar type stores, and has really pushed sales over the last few years. But now, over the last few months, higher income, younger customers, and people just coming back from COVID is started to really expand the amount of purchases in the retail industry. Especially good as we come up to the holidays, that increased spending is in many non-essential items, like as gift giving that we all are driving for this month. With COVID, one of the things that really accelerated was the use of omnichannel type sales, where the customer is now going out and utilizing multiple different methods of research, whether it be at the store, online, mobile. And so, as e-commerce sales are growing, upwards of 30% year over year, the omni-channel process is growing by more like 60 to 70%, where shopping is both in store and online. One of the things that we see continuing is the continued growth of e-commerce during the holiday season. And especially you can see, when we get to 2020, there was actually an increase in the rate of growth, and that increase is continuing into 2021, with exciting times on the special days of Black Friday and Cyber Monday of over $10 billion were expected this year, with double-digit growth throughout the entire season. Part of the thing that we start to see is a disparate recovery depending on what category you're in. Some of those might be apparel and clothing, toys, small electronics seem to be recovering rather rapidly, but things like travel and out-of-home entertainment spending is actually starting to decrease, with Delta variant starting back up again, and now going into Omicron. But that with some of those things like travel and out-of-home slowing down, it actually is freeing up some discretionary funds to be able to focus those funds back into things like gifts that would be, apparel, gift cards, and toys. So it actually creates some opportunities for the actual retail industry. So now I want to turn it back over to Jessica, and where she has some great ideas as far as, you know, the marketing strategy and how we can achieve success during these times, these holiday times.
Actually, before that, we're gonna. That's all right. Before that, we're gonna give Gerard a chance, because once I get going, you won't be able to shut me up. So let's let him jump in and give you some more interesting facts and things that can help with the marketing strategy.
Thank you, guys. I'll steal the moment because I know once Jessica will get the chance, I will have no chance to survive here. Thank you, guys. Thank you for giving me the mic. Okay, so pretty much carrying on what Bob was already discussing, the trends in the e-commerce market these days. Being in the industry, once we are trying to sell something online, offline, or as a brick and mortar store, we all know marketing and advertisement is absolutely must, otherwise nobody knows us. Historically, spam has been, the word spam and the philosophy around spam evolved over the period of last 10, 15 years, where in the beginning, companies, since they had the email at their disposal as a communication channel, they pretty much bombarded everybody with every possible message they can bring up in front of their audience, possible audience. Over the period of time in the industry, we have seen the concept of spam and filtering and blocking emails and blacklisting email senders. All those things have been introduced. Even further on to that, even today, if somebody does not block us, the customer has the tendency to pretty much move away or move or zone out from the company who is not reaching out well. What does it mean by reaching out well? It means if you don't understand your customer well, if you don't understand the needs of your customer well, then they will stop responding back to you guys as a business. So segmentation is something we need to be mindful of, be aware of, especially when we're dealing with millennials and Generation X. Now, these days, as we know, the attention span of the youngsters, teenagers, Generation Z, that time span is reducing. It has reduced to pretty much to a second. You flip something on your mobile, you have a look, you like it, you move, you get moved by that. Otherwise, you move on to something else. So what does it mean? Segmentation for our customers is absolutely important, be it millennials or Generation X. So segmentation, that's the message for this particular slide. And we'll see what else we can do better in our business to be able to reach out to the business, to the customer. Moving forward, start advertising early, build momentum and convert. What does it mean? Okay, in the first slide, we talked about the segmentation. Fine, we understand our customer well. We create compartmentalized marketing messages for email, SMS, and push notification communication for our customers. But the thing is, it's not going to be one-off activity, and it's not one-off in terms of the message you're sending. Also, it's not one-off in terms of how the customer has interacted with you. For example, a message might start from an email, or campaign might start from an email. Customer will respond, may not respond. Then they go to the browser, see your website, come back, and maybe 2 days later they might come back again for the same offer through their mobile or through their SMS. In response to the SMS. So the thing is, it's better to start early, start now, and build the momentum and bring them to the point where they are actually ready to convert. So while doing that, the key thing here is you need to be able to communicate clearly and regularly with your audience, and build some intrigue and interest in what your Black Friday offerings might be. So it all means planning well, getting ready for with your messages, intrigue your customers, and build the interest, build the momentum, so that somebody is ready to actually get converted as a VIP customer. So 72% of customers plan to shop Black Friday and Cyber Friday. So the point is, people are actually going online and they're already planning to purchase toys, purchase gifts. So the sooner you start the journey of your advertisement, the better it is. So maybe the next slide, please. Oh yes, my favorite. Mobile. We love it, we hate it at the same time. But whether you like it or you hate it, the thing is, this beast is going to stay in the market for foreseeable future. And the Generation Z, they are addicted to this. Be that a 3-year-old child or 30-year-old adult, or these days 60-year-old nanny. Everybody is on the mobile, and it's the use is growing. It's in front of us in terms of this graph from 2016 to 2019. You can see, the spend has increased. The people's presence on mobile has increased. So many mobile apps have come out. You might have one for yourself. But the thing is, mobile is something which is the epicenter now for your marketing messages and your sales. But at the same time, we need to think in terms of 360-degree omni-channel accessibility, reaching the market for us to be able to send our message across and keep the attention, grab the attention of our customers. That's the whole idea. And also one more thing, people have actually stopped pretty much. The frequency of people going out to brick and mortar stores is actually reducing. People would love to go online, go through the wish list or create their own wish list. And as we can see on stats, 67% of all e-commerce sales this year will come from mobile. So hate it or love it, it's going to stay. Next slide, please. Okay. So while people are actually browsing through all those mediums, the thing is, at the end of the day, the spam is still the problem. Whether somebody's coming on the mobile or the email, we have to be very, very particular. We have to be very careful where we are creating unique, individualized or personalized messages for our audience. If our message, doesn't matter how good we are in terms of technology, how good we are in terms of reaching out to our customers, if we are not imaginative enough and vigilant enough to personalize the message for our customers, we are going to lose them at the end of the day. An example which Jessica and I was discussing earlier, that as a father, I would like to receive an email from a vendor where they are talking about leather wallet, which I can buy while I'm, for example, purchasing 5 bags of Pampers or something like that. So I need my personalized items attached with maybe something else I'm buying. And the same thing goes for my missus. She would not be interested in a leather wallet offer. She might be interested in her own ladies bag. So as a business, if we know who we are dealing with and our message is switching accordingly, we have a highly likely chance to have a win. If it is not personalized, it is pretty much a spam, and people might shut us down. So that's all from my end. Over to Jessica, I guess. You can take over and do the magic.
That's a nice, neat segue, because I was literally about to, that's my part to talk about segmentation and how we avoid spam. So it is my pet hate, especially being in this industry. And we were talking about this earlier, actually, because we had a jolly good old chat before we jumped on here. And one of the things that I was talking about even 10 years ago was this bulk mailing situation. And it seemed like a really good idea to get through your whole database, send everybody an email because everybody's got an email address. And that was 10 years ago, 12 years ago now. We've moved on. Omni-channel is the way forward. Robert said it, Gerard said it, I'm going to keep saying it. Personalization is the key. So how do we create an elevated experience? Well, at D.Engage, we've got a 3-step formula. So first part is your data. Wherever that data resides, prepare your data, make sure that you get it from whichever channel that you're using. It could be your website, could be CRM, maybe you've got a mobile app, maybe you've got a call center, you're offline, online, all of your touch points, bring them together into something like us, which is a CDP. That's basically where our technology starts, and unify that data so you can get a really good view of your customer base and what they're doing and how they're doing it. The next part about that is executing. So really think about the campaigns that you want to run, and how you want to run them, what channels you want to use. Just remember, Gerard was talking about mobile. It's so important to make sure that your mobile offerings are that they render well. I'm going to be talking about that a little bit in a minute, but don't neglect other channels. You know, you've got push on website, you've got push on mobile, you've got in-app if you've got an app. There's no app inbox, which is really exciting. There's on-site, there's all sorts of tips and tricks and things that pop up on websites these days. Find clever ways to execute your campaigns. So you can use all of the native channels and email. Don't forget email. Actually, strangely enough, email is still the highest ROI for what you put your money into. And I know a lot of people were saying when Facebook popped up many years ago that email was dead. I remember that conversation. I remember everybody having it. Email is not dead. Email is still making people a lot of money. It's how you use it and making sure that you automate those journeys. And that's the execution part. Then the third part, which is the analysis. So make sure whatever it is that you're doing, that you have a means of being able to measure the results of those things and don't ignore those results. If your results are telling you that using one channel in particular is not working for you, or using that style of content is not working for you, change and adapt your style. That's really, really important. Make sure that you keep feeding back into that process and actually take as much work out of it as possible. So use systems and technology to help do the heavy lifting so you can do the creative part, and that's really the key. So part of the easiest way to get your segmentation going is to use what we call RFM. So this is recency, frequency, and monetary. But also, very important point, you know, there's 3 panelists here. We all are completely different people. We're sitting in different countries. We've got different views on life. We like different things. So if we come onto your website or we open your email, why would you treat us all the same? And that really is the key behind why you should do segmentation and why personalization is so important. So make sure that you use your data, as I said before, to create highly targeted segments that you can then push your messages out to so that they're relevant, the content is relevant. And the reality is, if you treat me the same as you would if I walked into your store online through Facebook or anywhere else, all of the touch points are consistent, my experience with you is going to be so much better and I'm much more likely to spend my money with you. So that's a very, very important point. The other thing is, even though the 3 of us are all different, you might know me, but you may not know Javad or Robert. Perhaps they're only visiting your website for the first time. You should be treating people who are spending money with you, your loyal customers, or maybe I'm only a one-time customer actually, but you should be treating me differently to somebody that you don't know. So there are lots of different things you can do to make sure that you convert those people that you don't know into your customers, but then also keep customers who are already spending money to keep spending money with you and build that trust, build that loyalty and rapport with you. So keep the conversation going, and you can use all of these channels, all of these automations to do that. VIPs in particular, I've put a note on here because VIPs really, it costs so much more to acquire a customer than it does to actually make money out of your loyal customer base. And that's a very important point, because I think everybody becomes obsessed with acquisition. And yes, it's important, of course it is. But at the same time, if you neglect the ones who are regularly spending money with you, don't, whatever you do, let them fall off the wagon. So I'd just like to show you very quickly this RFM diagram in my next slide. Which shows you an automated way of creating the segment. So this is within our system. We actually categorize those automatically for you so that you can have a look at your churning customers, and you can create segments and launch campaigns directly from these segments without you having to spend hours and hours analyzing spreadsheets, etc., etc. So you can start to see as well where your customer base is sitting. So over a period of time, maybe your customers are moving from one segment to another, and that's another point of interest you should be paying attention to, because if you've suddenly got your loyal brand champions moving to your churning customer segment, that's something you really need to be taking action on. So although it's very nice to sit and look at lovely graphs like this, the purpose of them actually is to help you take action, and that is the key as well. So moving swiftly onwards, I've got some little ideas for you about how you can capture the attention of the masses at this particular time of year. Of course, everybody is fighting for the inbox. But remember, people are expecting to hear from you at this time of year. It's really important, actually. I think sometimes people get embarrassed about, oh, well, everybody's sending everybody messages at this time of year. Yes, they are. But it's the content and how you do it that matters. Because me as a consumer, I want to hear from the brands that I love. I want you to show me offers. I want to spend money with you. So don't not target me. That would be a massive mistake. The one thing I absolutely love, and I was telling the guys earlier, is feeling like I've got ahead of everybody else. I love to feel special, and Javad is smiling because he knows that I'm greedy like that. I love this one down in the corner on the left-hand side, this pre-access. This is a real winner here. So give them sneak peeks. This early access, I've got 20% ahead of everybody else. That makes me feel really special. And so just use little tactics like that to engage your loyal client base to spend some money ahead of the unknown quantities, the ones who are maybe visiting and you're not sure whether you can convert them. Before you've even started any of your Black Friday campaigns or anything else, you're already starting to make money because you're engaging with your loyal customer base. The other thing is to make sure that you make your customers aware that there is a time limit. That creates urgency and excitement in your customer base. And also, we're a bit forgetful. So we might click on your campaign and then go onto your site and go, oh yeah, that's a good idea. I'll come back to that later. But then don't leave me there with that, oh, 20% offer runs out tonight. Use your channels to then re-engage me somewhere else. So for example, I go onto your site and I see your 20% offer, but maybe I get distracted. Somebody's called me on the phone, or I have to go and make my kids supper. Send me a push notification when I do come back to my machine to remind me, or maybe you send me an SMS if you've got my mobile number. Everybody has got one of these pretty much surgically attached to them. So if you've got an app, and apps are absolutely critical for this kind of thing. I'm going to just ask you to move on to the next slide. I've got a little example of a push notification here, which I absolutely love. You see this advent calendar one from H&M in the corner. I love H&M. But they're always sending me push notifications when I've forgotten things, and about 20% this and that and the other, because I'm a loyal customer. Seeing that on my mobile phone when I've just been on the website is really important to help me convert. So urgency, channels, get them also excited with a holiday countdown. Everybody loves a little advent calendar. I've seen some really cool stuff on some websites where this is going to feed into the gamification, which is a little bit further down. I love a good game and a reason to point and click on things and waste my time, but it's not just wasting time, it's also spending money, because you're being very clever and engaging me and making sure that I don't wander off somewhere else to somebody else's website. So just remember that all of these little engagements that pull me in and keep me interested in and interactive are going to help with conversions, and also to push the brand up in my mind, so that I would rather spend my money with you than with someone else. So we've talked about making it personal. That's very important. Make sure that you treat all of your customers differently according to their spending habits, what they do with you, how often they're visiting you, and also what their preferences are. I mean, there's no point sending me blue shoes if I've only ever bought red t-shirts from you. So just think, you know, it's also about product as much as channel and behavior. Be consistent. Make sure that whatever campaign you're running, you run it across all your channels at the same time. So that means on-site, in-app, social media, email, all at the same time. And make sure when you finish your, you send reminders to people as well that your promotions are finishing or whatever it is, to make sure that you have the best possible chance of reaching me as a consumer at this time of year. But the other thing is, we're going to talk about the do's and don'ts in a minute, actually. Little pop-ups, social proof, very, very important thing. Build trust with your customers. I love it when I go on a site and I can see that 2,000 other people have been there, maybe they've bought, maybe they haven't. So show me something that somebody's bought. I've got a little example up here, which shows you somebody actually bought that product. Oh, okay. Well, that's intriguing. I was thinking about buying one of those, and you click through and you have a look. And when you get to that page, maybe it says 10 other people have bought in the last 24 hours or something like that. That creates a really strong trust in the fact that you are a good brand to buy from. So don't neglect things like social proofing, and also ratings and reviews. Don't be afraid to show your ratings and reviews. I think it's very important. It completely builds trust with your audience. We're going to move on now to, I'm just going to wrap up a little bit here, which is to say, so use your holiday marketing to re-engage your customer base, especially the ones who are maybe only one-time purchases. Maybe they only buy at this time of year because they know that you've got a 20% off discount. Make sure you keep talking to them throughout the year as well. You want to convert all of those one-time purchases, but you also want to convert the prospects who are just browsing on your site. Give them a reason to give you their information so that you can then engage them on other channels. And that way you can also attract a broader audience, and it may be on your site, maybe through social media, it may be through email. Use all of your channels. So next thing, I would just like to introduce you to a couple of examples from a client of ours who are doing some super automations, and it's making them a lot of money. They're being very successful with it. And thank you very much to them for allowing us to share this information. The company is called N11. They are an online marketplace, and they do huge amounts of traffic. So one of the things that's very important for us as a business as well is to be able to support not just smaller businesses, but also larger businesses that need to create messages at scale. It's very, this time of year in particular, there's a lot of stress on technology systems. You're getting a lot of emails in your inbox. There's a lot of push, a lot of SMSs. So you have to have a system that is robust and scalable, and able to deliver the power of the messages at scale, but with personalization. And that takes a lot of machinery in the background to support that. And that's one of the reasons that N11 chose us, is because we can take as many of their data sets as they want. They can bring it into our system. We can even actually access data remotely, so it doesn't even have to come into our system. That's also the beauty of what we're able to do, because we can do on-premise, we can do a hybrid, we can do on cloud. It's important to have options to be able to segment your data and use it from wherever it resides to create that personal segmentation. The ability to automate programs then as well across channels, deliver it personalized at scale, and make sure that you are then analyzing those results. So you can look at a single channel, but you can also look at the whole of your Black Friday campaigns, for example, and see which channel worked best for you. And maybe next time you tweak one channel, maybe in particular customers or verticals, you want to slightly tweak your messaging or tweak your channels. That's very important. They've been able to do that. So there are 3 scenarios. We just need to go back a slide, I think, because we've gone on ahead. There's three scenarios that I'd just like to show you here. Yes, we've skipped some here. We should be on N11 by now. There's a just for you scenario, which is about an abandoned browse. So when somebody comes onto the site and they are looking at some things, and either you know them or you don't know them. Sorry, 2 slides down, thank you. You either know them or you don't know them, and there are different ways to convert those people. So you can show me in an email, because you know me and I've bought with you many times. You can show me, oh, you were looking at these things, how about these things as well? So you can send that maybe to me in an email, but you can also send to your anonymous users by pushing on site or in the mobile. Another scenario that's really, really effective is the price drop and back in stock. Whatever you do, don't let those people get away from you, because you know, they want to spend money with you, and it would be such a shame if they wandered off and they forgot all about you and they bought it from somewhere else. Just make it easy for them, so when something is back in stock, you make sure that you message them and reactivate them. So they're making some really good money out of those ones. And another one is the cross sell after purchase. So I bought something and they engage maybe 7 days later to tell me that actually the thing that you bought 7 days ago, these are the things that also you might like. Other customers also bought these things. So make sure you also, if you have the power to use recommendation, I really would recommend it, because it's a great converter. Make things appropriate and personalized in terms of product, in terms of all of the activities that they are engaging with. And then you should see some great conversions. And I think it's actually my mistake because I've skipped ahead. Ooh, I'm so sorry. I was going to tell you some things not to do during the holiday season, one of which we have already touched on. I'm so sorry to make you go backwards. This is part of winging it. So whatever you do, prepare for the influx of new orders. One of the biggest mistakes that people make is, oh, you've got your website prepared, you've got all of your campaigns prepared, you've done all of your lovely automations, and then you under anticipate the amount of demand for things that you have. So your stock, potentially the load on your website. Make sure that you've got your systems can handle all of the traffic. The other thing is be available. Make sure that if your customers have got questions, that they're able to reach you and access you. Think about all the questions that you, as a consumer, you are a consumer yourself. So think about all of the questions that you would ask, that you would like to know the answers to, and create some FAQs maybe on your site, or a link maybe in your emails, or whatever channel you want to use, so that people can easily find out the answers to their questions. And the other thing is to have a little chatbot. Chatbots are brilliant. They're really great for engagement. It means that people can talk to you in real time. Don't underestimate the power of that. The next part is don't just rely on the things that you've done before. So yes, okay, maybe it worked last year, but try some new things. Really take advantage of all the channels and the advertising. You know, there's so many different ways to get hold of customers now. Use your retargeting. This is the time of year to use it. So use your YouTube, Spotify, Facebook, Instagram, all of those channels. And make sure that your branding is consistent and that your messaging is getting out there as much as possible. Ignore mobile at your peril. We've already said that. It's very important. Make sure that your campaigns are optimized. Make sure that your site renders well, and that you can scroll easily, you can find things easily, that everything is displayed at a super easy touch of a button, because that's so important. Everybody's glued to these. And last but not least, I'm going to say it again. Whatever you do, don't repeatedly spam your database. And Joanne is smiling because he believes in this too, and we had a great chat about it earlier. You know, don't just keep sending out all of your messages to the entire of your database. I know it's tempting. I know it's tempting, but I can tell you now, the ones that I delete out of my inbox are the ones that I have seen 5 times already that week, which have the same message, which I know have got absolutely no relevance to me whatsoever. Those just get deleted. And the biggest problem with that is you might think, oh, well, that doesn't really matter. First of all, it costs you a lot of money if you've got a big database. Second of all, people will start to lose interest. They will either unsubscribe, or even more lazily, they'll just delete you. And what happens is that you then start to really wreck your, I'm going to talk technical now, you wreck your deliverability. And that is very important. That is the inbox placement. So what will happen is all your stuff then starts going to junk, and you will start to be classified by all the ISPs and the providers across all channels as a spammer. And that is the last thing you want to do. So please, I beg you, don't do that. So I think I have talked enough. I think I'm going to allow Jawad to actually talk. So thank you very much for listening. It's Jawad's turn now to wrap up and tell you what you can do to be successful this holiday season.
Thank you, Jessica. I think you deserve a little break now. Did I pause there? Okay, sorry, Bob, if you can go to the last slide, please. Just let's start interacting with the audience accordingly. Last one. Yeah, thanks for that. Okay, so after that much talk, what are we going to talk about? The thing is, the different methods out there, and Jessica have gone into too much, a reasonable detail of things. Trust me, there are more details coming. Not in the not in the presentation today, but eventually when we start implementing things. So the thing is, how can we be successful here? The just key takeaways from this today's session is, first of all, you need to understand your customer and their journey. It means journey is a very interesting term here. You need to understand what is the life of your customer with your business. So referring back to the same, baby shop, baby item selling shop. So if somebody who has just got a newborn, they might be your customer for next 3 to 3.5, 4 years time. And once the kid grows up, they're pretty much moved on in their life and they're no more your customers. So to those in that kind of phenomena, you need to understand, doesn't matter whichever business you are in, who your customer is and for how long they can stay with you in terms of their evolving needs of their of their situation. So along the way, the thing is, understand your customer, and once you understand your customer journey, it's about keeping them in the loop over the period of time through multiple messages, as you can see in the picture here. So the whole idea is that the gist of this picture is keep interacting, keep going back to your customers. So that's where the thin line is. Going back is fine. Yep, spam them 10 times a day. Send them an irrelevant message. Oh, yeah, I'm going back to my customer 10 times a day. No, not exactly. That's not what we're talking about here. The thing is, do not spam, but still go back to your customers. And when you're going back to your customers, it's not one medium only. It is traditionally it was emails, but now it is emails. Your social media channel integration is there. Mobile phone push is there, your web push is there, your PC can receive push these days. So all those different methods, and brick and mortar, that's not going anywhere. So the thing is, rather than using 1 or 2 channels, we have plenty of channels available to us. So the thing is, make your message consistent, specific to your customer's need, throughout the life cycle, throughout the journey of the customer with your business. So that is the thing. Know your customer, know their journey, and treat your messages accordingly. If you can move to the next slide, please. Oh, my favorite, omni-channel. I would love to talk about this for as long as you would like me to, but I'm mindful of the time as well. Omni-channel is the way to go forward. Those days are gone. It's history now, where as a business, if we talk about, we think in terms of a technology implementation, and we see things in compartments. Oh, it's my brick and mortar issue. It's not my website issue. Oh yeah, I need to get my website built. After that, okay, I look into my mobile strategy afterwards. Oh, social media, new thing. Okay, let's jump onto that. Oh, phone. Okay, let's have a contact center. Those days are pretty much gone. They are history now. Today, the messages, the way forward is omni-channel. The moment you are in business and you need to reach out to your customers in this world, post-COVID, dealing with millennials and Generation Z, other businesses, your competition is way ahead from you as a business any time of the day. So the thing is, once you would love to reach to your customer, you think in terms of online marketing, always think in terms of the omni-channel. And omni-channel, as you can see on the picture, it's store, phone, web, mobile, social. I have been situations where people ask me the question, when I'm consulting, that how is this possible? Trust me, it is already here and it's very much possible, and it's easy as well. It's not as complicated as we normally think of. So know your customer, know their journey, and always think in terms of omni-channel. If you can please go to the next slide here. It's taking a bit of time. Note. Sorry, I think my net has gone slow. Okay. Okay. Know your customer continuously. I would say that's the fourth thing. In the first one, I was saying know your customer, know your customer. But in this slide, the takeaway message is know your customer more frequently, which means while they are your customer, while they are going through their journey of them being your customer, while they're going through their customer journey, interacting with you over the period of time, they are already generating some sort of data while interacting with your business, be it through the mobile, be it through the website, even if they're walking into the store. That's where, you know, the product offering we already have, shopper value. Even we have got the coverage of your brick and mortar store, where we can provide analytics and we can provide information where you can know your customer well. So on this slide, the whole message is know your customer, but know them well. Where they are heading up to, where they're going more. Are they more brick and mortar customer? Are they more website customer? Are they more mobile app customer? Whatever the flavor of the customer is, whatever their intent is. Also, Jessica talked in a comprehensive detail about RFM. What is RFM? Recency frequency monitoring, which means once you understand your customer, how recent they are, how frequently they're coming to your website, the better you are in a position to judge that you are at the brink of getting a sale done. Because, I mean, personally speaking, it's my habit, you know, whenever I need to buy something, it's not like I go online on the very first go and I hit my shopping cart. No, I don't do that. What I do is I actually start browsing. I might be comparing few different vendors for that particular product. So at the end of the day, after browsing, let's say 5 different vendors, I like one of the vendors or 2 of the vendors, which I might be interested more based upon price, color, whatever the, you know, my preferences are. But the thing is, if I'm keep coming back to the same wallet, in this case, leather wallet, I like it. If I'm coming back to the same wallet again and again, and you have the right systems in place as a business on your website, on your mobile, and through other mediums as well, you are knowing more about your customer. It's the same guy, maybe from the same IP or whatever the exact, you know, implementation details are. This guy is coming back 10 times over the period of last 7 days, 6 days, 2 days, and they are really getting focused on this particular product. That is your moment. Seize the moment. Give them an offer, you know, entice them to actually get a tilt towards your product. That's where your monetary benefit is. So I'll summarize it again. The point is, know your customer more, know them more recent, keep it more local, keep it like know them right now, what they're doing. So that's the whole message. Next one.
Sorry, I'm going to jump in there because that's so important, because reality is, you know, sometimes, you know, our offline experience really informs how we also shop online. So yeah, it's not just about price, but if I go into a store and I really like the person that's in there and how they know what I want and they respond to me and they show me things that are relevant for me, I'm much more likely to go back to that store to buy it than I am to go to someone else's store where it might be a bit cheaper even. So it's the same principle, even online or on any touch point, actually. So you're 100% right. It's about knowing your customer.
Exactly. And I was actually discussing pretty much the same point with one of the colleagues the other day. So the point is, when you go out to purchase something, it's not one thing you purchase, it's actually 2 things you purchase. One is the product itself for which you're paying for, but the second thing that you purchase is the experience. Because that guy, pretty much rightly said, Jessica, that guy is treating you well, guy or girl, the salesman, sales girl, they are understanding your need, they are reading your personality, they're throwing the right set of colors in front of you, whatever that is, whatever the experience you're getting, as long as you're liking the experience, you might get happy to pay more in that situation. So it's 2 things that a customer buys, experience as well as the product. So the same thing goes here. Never forget the silent ones. So this particular means that as long as over the period of time, you're understanding your customer throughout the life cycle and their recency, their frequency as of now, and you can understand the situation where somebody has gone quiet. This guy, he was coming on my side, a brick and mortar store in that case, and they have stopped coming. I remember the situation where I was a very frequent buyer of a pizza shop, used to go there, and I just because of the situation, I just stopped going there, and I went back again after a couple of months. The guy was actually very polite. He came up to me and he asked, like, "Is everything okay? You are not coming back to us?" And I said, "No, no, that's fine." But the point is, that guy remember me, and he could not reach out to me because obviously he did not have the right technology. But once I go back, they can be considerate. But today, once we have this set of technology available at our disposal, it's about being proactive, understanding the set of customers who are not that active anymore. And on the screen, you can see we have 20% off, we have 60% off, we have 15% off, different messages, different offers. So it's all about, it's limited by your imagination now, as long as you understand your customer, give them something interesting to get back to you, and be your loyal customer again.
Absolutely, and also automate it, because the reality is, think about it ahead of time, set these things up, and you just leave them to run. It's really that simple.
Exactly. It's set and forget. These days, yes, it's all about set and forget. And while we're talking about the quiet ones, why don't you give a good treat to the VIP ones, the loud ones? There's no harm treating your loud customers or your recurring customers even better, your VIP ones. So, send them a birthday gift, send them a birthday voucher, and, their son's birthday is coming, their daughter's birthday is coming, whatever the event is, just celebrate along with your customer. And this all can be done once you understand your customer well, once you understand their demographics well, once you understand where they're coming from. And, if you know your customer, they are brick and mortar store, they would love to come to the store. Give them a voucher, which is a special discount only if you buy something in store. Versus if somebody is a mobile app user, they go more on the mobile app. Give them a reason to come back to the mobile app and purchase from the mobile app 10, 15, 20% off, as a thank you that we understand that you are a loyal customer and you are happy to purchase things from the mobile app. So the thing is, know your customer, be able to create the segmentations for your customer, understand the recency frequency of your customer, and then reach out to them, not in a spam way, but in a very polite, in a very professional, in a very friendly way, where your messages are very personalized and they resonate with the customer. Once you start doing all this, the magic is going to happen. And if we go to the next slide, please. And over to Bob for the further actions to bring the magic in the show.
Poor Bob, he's been stuck out all by himself for hours,
Yes.
listening to us, Javad.
No worries, Jessica. Over to you, Bob and Jessica.
So the next thing we'd like to do as we wrap up our presentation today is we'd like to offer any of the attendees a free consultation on the holiday marketing plan and how this can be transformed into an actionable digital marketing plan going forward. So we are posting the consultation link in the chat. So please click on that and go out to our website on confiz.com and accept our offer. We do have a couple questions. So Javad and Jessica, I will repeat it and then we can, figure out how we're going to answer it. So the first question is, it's the end of the holiday season. Is there anything we can do to make up for the season if things have been going poorly?
Well, my opinion is, don't panic. I think the temptation is to suddenly slash all your prices and go, oh, panic, panic, panic. We need to make some money. The reality is that will work in the short term, but you will then get known for being someone who cuts their prices at the last minute, and people will wait for that the next time. So my advice is, don't do that if you can avoid it. Stick with the plan, use your data, use what's been working, and create personalized offers. You still have time. It's like 7 days till Christmas, a little bit longer. But you still have well over a week to make sure that you can still get your messaging out. It's not too late. You've still got social media. Everybody loves a bit of social media. Create really good call to actions. Use all your channels, but it starts with your data. Start with what you know, and make sure that you understand who you're trying to target, what message you want to give them, and what you want that outcome to be. That would be my take.
Super. Thank you, Jessica. And a second question would be how to make the physical store experience more interesting.
Okay, if I would jump into that, though I'm not an expert in terms of the physical store experience, I would say, I mean, there are two things. I was actually talking to one of our existing customers, pretty much along the same lines. I would say two things, two major things here. One is make your store look good. Spend some money and give them an experience in the store. That's one thing. But the second thing is the real game changer here is doesn't matter how good your store look like on the face of it, but if the customer is sitting at home and they are not aware of, or they don't have a right reason to come back to the store, they might be forgetting about you because they're busy in their own life. So again, the same thing. If you understand your customer well, if you know your customer well, what you can do is you can reach out to them very politely in a very professional and in a friendly way, letting them know, guys, by the way, there's a special offer specific for you, only X percentage off. That's one option. Second option, tell them about the new products that you have got in stock. Guys, by the way, we have got this new stock and we know you're a female, let's say 19, 20 years old, and you like, dark pink colors or something like that. So here is the new, the items we have got in our store. Let them know. And along the same lines, anything that you have to share it with your customers so that they have a reason to come back to store and get interested in purchases. I hope that answered the question.
And the
I
other
think
thing,
one of the other things is that highlight the things that are special about being at the store.
Yeah.
There's things that you can do that you can't do online, like trying on clothes or getting personalized advice that you can only get by talking to a person in the appropriate department. So focus on the things that are better on site than online.
absolutely. And the other thing is use your channels to drive traffic in store. So send out an offer code that says this is redeemable only in store. I mean, that's one way to do it as well. But another thing is you are your best ambassador. So actually, yes, the technology is very clever and all of this is very exciting. But if you are an owner of a business, spend time on the floor. If you are a marketer in a business, even if you sit behind a desk 9 days of the week, make sure you get on that floor and you understand your customer base. I think that is so important because you can sit and imagine all of these things, and as consumers we're consumers ourselves, we know what we like, but actually the only way to get to know your clients, certainly in an offline setting, is to actually be there with them. So don't be afraid to be there and interact with them. That would be my tuppence words.
So Javad and Jessica, thank you very much for your time today. And attendees, thank you for your time. Again, please go to the link in our chat to set up your free consultation. And we look forward to working with you in the future. Thank you all.
Thank you so much. Happy holiday.
Pleasure talking to you. Bye.
Great. Thanks, guys.
Cheers. Bye.